Thank you for your visitation. Lest I forget, this morning I had updates on the general's daughter of which I would like to share with you.
That's nice.
Get into the car and let's have lunch.
Okay.
As I said earlier, today the general's daughter will be interesting. From the update I had, at the military court, General Maximiliano was called to the witness stand and sworn in. At Tiago's trial, Tiago continued with his pity act of being the helpless victim, telling the court that it was Rian who had introduced him to the summer campers and he had supported them financially because of Rian, not knowing that those people were a group of terrorists.
Tiago is such a great liar. I pray one day he should be caught.
Back at the military court, Maximiliano introduced himself and testified against Marshall, saying that Marshall had stood in the way of the military and prevented them from capturing ex-Lieutenant Bonifacio during one of their pursuits. He added that that was when they found out that Rian was Marshall's long-lost daughter. Back at Tiago's trial, Corazon stared at Tiago in disgust as he continued with his pity act, accusing Rian of siding with strangers against him. After Tiago was done with his act, Rian was called back to take the stand. Tiago's lawyer asked her to explain to the court why she insisted on Tiago being a liar. Rian explained that it was because she had met the late Edgar Del Fierro herself while they were training and he had introduced himself as Tiago's friend, then joined their group. She told the lawyer to review Edgar's file so he could see she was telling the truth. The lawyer asked Rian about Edgar being accused of corruption, and Rian told him that it was all Tiago's handiwork since he had a lot of connections.
Corazon, has she not changed from the bad act?
No, my sister. She, being a woman, has no mercy for children. Wait, about her husband?
Her husband is very manipulative.
Let's continue with the update, because I'd like you to know more about Vitolenivla. Back in the military courtroom, Maximiliano was asked to comment on Marshall's actions to save and protect Rian from the military. Maximiliano told the court that, as a military official, it was wrong for Marshall to have protected another soldier who had broken the law, but as a father, he understood Marshall's need to protect his daughter. Tiago's lawyer asked for Rian to provide solid evidence and not some imaginary stories she had made up. Tiago sneered at her while his lawyer went on, demanding that Rian produce her proof now, and Rian was left with nothing more to say. After the trial, Tiago was interviewed by the press and he told them that he was confident in the justice system and that his accusers would be proven wrong. Maximiliano was asked whether he had been recently consulting Marshall in his operations, and he lied to the court that he had not consulted him ever since he was relieved of his post. He added that Marshall had never given him any information that had helped him to capture Tiago and Rian, and Marshall was left speechless. In jail, an inmate, Brenda, asked Rian about Tiago's trial and how her witness deed didn't show up, and Rian told her that something might have happened. Brenda said that Franco might have been deceiving her, and Rian told her that Franco wouldn't do that, and that Tiago was probably the one behind his sudden disappearance. Franco struggled through his restraints as Ivan came to bring him some food. He told Ivan to untie him, but he refused, fearing what Armando might do to him if he did. Franco told him that they would both be leaving the alliance and will have to testify against Tiago in court to bring him down, but Ivan was scared that Tiago would hunt them down in retaliation. Franco pointed out to him that they were neither safe with the alliance since Tiago had betrayed them already. He asked Ivan whether he was sure Tiago would spare his life, and Ivan was dumbfounded.
I pray that God should save Franco, because he has now changed to become a good person.
Corazon talked to her husband on phone concerning the absent witness at Tiago's trial. When Marshall made mention of Jesse and Edgar's file, Corazon told him that she had had a major argument with Jesse about her hiding Edgar's file, because she feared they might abandon her when Rian was set free. Marshall asked to talk to her, and Corazon told him that Jesse had already left the house and said that she wouldn't be coming back. Corazon then told her husband that she didn't know what to do, and Marshall assured her that they'll overcome their challenges. He told Corazon that, if Tiago had escaped his punishment for his crimes because of lack of evidence, then they needed to make a kidnapping case against him and send him to jail, since Rian would be the only witness and evidence they would need. At Tiago's trial, The verdict had already come in. The charge of terrorism was dismissed since the prosecution had failed to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Tiago was the leader of the group. The charges of arms smuggling and drug trafficking was also dismissed. Tiago and his blinded supporters were happy with the ruling as the judge called for the court to be adjourned. They hailed him in the courtroom. Marshall and Buen Camino watched the aftermath of Tiago's trial as Tiago accused him, Marshall, and Rian of trying to use him as a scapegoat to cover up crimes they had committed themselves. Marshall was upset that Rian had given herself up only for Tiago to escape judgment by fooling everyone and putting the blame on them. Buen Camino told him to calm down because they had other charges against Tiago that they could use to bring him down. Marshall then said that Rian could file kidnapping charges against Tiago and it would be more than enough to send him to jail. At the De Leon residence, Corazon was beside herself that Tiago had fooled everyone and escaped punishment, and Isabel asked her to calm down so they could think of other means to bring him down. Jessie came in just then to get her stuff and her mother, and Isabel pleaded for her to stay but she refused to. At Camp Aguinaldo, Ethan came to see Marshall and Marshall told him he had been trying to contact Jessie for some time now but she hadn't been answering his calls. Ethan asked whether he had found out what Jessie had done and Marshall told him that he had, and that he knew his relationship between Rian and Jessie and that it would be better if the three of them remained just friends so his daughters could finally reconcile. Later on, Marshall called Corazon and told her that he had come up with something and she had to pay Rian a visit. Tiago and Amelia had an interview with the press, and they told them that they wanted to help the people in the country and that they needed their support so Tiago would win the Senate seat. The people hailed him, pledging their support for him. At Camp Aguinaldo, there was a conference where the press threw unending questions at Marshall concerning Tiago's accusations, and Maximiliano rebuffed and dismissed all of them, saying that there was no evidence that supports Tiago's baseless accusations. Tiago's lawyer told Amelia that they had a problem because Rian had decided to pursue her kidnapping charge against Tiago. Alexandra asked Maximiliano why he had defended Marshall and he told her that there was no evidence that he was involved with the terrorist group. She then told him that Marshall was his rival and he should take advantage of the opportunity to implicate him in the matter. She told Maximiliano to give her the go-ahead so she could plant false evidence against Marshall and have him put away for good. Maximiliano lashed out at her, telling her to respect him because he was her superior and to respect Marshall as well because he was a general and not just any ordinary soldier. At the new hideout, Franco and Armando had another heated argument where Armando asked whether he had suddenly turned against them because of Rian. He added that Franco would end up dead if he kept on with it, and Franco told his father that he would rather be dead than live his life like a coward. Just then, Ivan came in to tell Armando that Tiago's men were there to take Franco away. The men explained that Tiago wanted to talk to Franco, and when Armando offered to take him there himself, they refused to it. After a mild altercation where Franco hit them and they hit him back, Armando warned them that he would hunt them down if anything happened to his son. The men then took Franco away and Ivan asked Armando whether he was just going to stay back and do nothing. The two goons escorted Franco outside and mocked him, telling him to run while they had their guns pointed at him. They playfully fired off some shots and Franco took the bait and went to hide behind a wrecked bus. He knocked out one of the goons that came after him and Ivan came running to his defense, firing at the other goon. Then on Franco's request, Ivan tossed the gun at Franco and he caught it in midair, shot down the other goon and finished off the one he had knocked down earlier. Ivan then came out and untied him and they left together. After their epic failed attempt to eliminate Franco, Tiago told Amelia to get his most competent people to get close to Rian and kill her immediately, and Amelia was thrilled that Tiago had finally decided to take Rian out of the picture. In jail, Rian's cellmate told her about the latest news concerning Tiago and how he had announced his running for the Senate, and Rian realized that that had been his intention all along. He had managed to win over the people over the years through his act and his many questionable charity works. Rian was worried that once Tiago became a senator, it would be very difficult to take him down. Another inmate came in and Rian eyed her suspiciously as she went past her into a washroom. The inmate, sent by Tiago, drew out a knife as a guard came in and ordered everyone back to their cells. Brenda, Rian's cellmate, had to go to the washroom, so Rian offered to wait for her. Then the girl who had been sent by Tiago tried to stab her, but Rian managed to defend herself and shoved the girl's face into a barrel of water over and over again, demanding to know who had sent her to kill her. Enjoy your meal. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel of my updater at Eagle Eye Animation and Professor RSK for more updates on the General's daughter.